Structure is a bit like control. Both are important, essentially, even depending on what you want to do. I say this in terms of storytelling mostly. The structure of a story can be pretty useful for, well, crafting a good yarn. To put it bluntly, to be structureless is a bit like being directionless in life. That's no way to live, and I'd say that from experience. Even though I haven't lived that long, I did grow up pretty directionlessly, never going and never knowing what to do with myself, and I resent every second of it in memory. And yeah, it's about as much as I want to say that deviates from the main point. Point is, it's important for storytelling. Structure offers direction. For example of this, look to outlines and arcs you have planned for a story. These give you a general idea of where the story is going to go, assuming, of course, that you are not making it up as you go along, which I have found from writing in the past to not be ideal means of writing stories, because you are just making up as you go along. And unlike the 10th Doctor, you probably aren't doing it brilliantly, I'm assuming. And if you are relying on the idea in your mind, this could be a detriment for you if you are not writing down what you have planned, because you might forget it, or you might take a break and again forget it. So it helps to have it written down at the very least. However, if you have an arc or a outline with you, you have a guideline. Now, much like the Pirate's Code in the world of in Jack Sparrow's world, you can see this is more of a guideline to use and sometimes deviate from at certain points. At least that's how I would say. Like, let's say you have an outline, but then there's a scene where you have another idea of something you want to add. So you temporarily deviate from the outline or add to what you didn't have in the outline, and then return to the outline when you've either put down that idea or you've run out of stuff to add, and you go back to the outline so you know where to resume and what you had planned. Essentially, a useful boon is my main point. Because of this reason, I more or less believe it helps to research like how stories were done in the past, particularly their structure, and learning how it was done in the past, so you have something to go with and how you want to construct your own structure and narrative. This is why I would recommend reading stuff like The Hero with a Thousand Faces, or there's this one book I've been trying to read called Creating Character Arcs by K.M. Weiland. Pretty good read, actually, or some useful ideas for stories at the very least. You learn the structures, and more or less this gives you a vague idea of what maybe you want to do in crafting your own outline or structure. And it gives you certain points to keep in mind when creating that outline. This is why I kind of say broaden your horizon, because, well, it's useful to learn these things from the past, and this is also why I say read stuff from the past, because it could be a boon for you and a great benefit for when formulating the ideas in your head. To forgo this would only hinder the birthing of your own story, but with this usher to aid in the story, you may find more productivity. Or so this has come to be my belief in terms of how storytelling should be conducted. If not for efficiency's sake, then at least for the consideration of swift productivity. Seriously, I find productivity to be very important, but that's just me. These are just things I would bring to your attention to consider. Maybe you'll find useful, maybe you won't. It's all up to you. I just thought I'd put this out there, and if you find this helpful, good, I hope it was helpful. If not, well, I'd say sorry, but I'm not really sorry. So, yeah. Have a nice day.